This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. When you have big running goals, it's fun and exciting to chase them. And when you keep getting better and better and closer to your goals, it can be a thrilling sense of accomplishment. But there can also be a dark side to all of this striving. There definitely can be too much of a good thing when it comes to running, and before you know it, your healthy obsession has turned into another injury. But is there really such a thing as balance when you're chasing big goals? Let's find out. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. My guest today knows this feeling firsthand. Whitney Hines is back on the show, and we're going to talk about her running journey, chasing the Olympic trials qualifying standard, overcoming injuries, and doing it all as a busy mom. We go over the good and bad side of always striving for more, how ignoring her body and pushing too hard backfired, and how doing less is actually working better and making her happier. It's always a great conversation with Whitney because we have so much in common. And while she's much faster than most moms and me, she's so relatable. Before we begin, if you are getting far too stressed about summer running and you need an actionable way to change your perspective, I have made something just for you. It's called the Readiness Reset, and you can get it for free right now. It's a 7-minute audio that combines guided visualization with cognitive conditioning, designed to train the exact response you need when running gets hard. I'll talk about it more a little later in the show, but if you would like access to it for free right now, head to theplantedrunner.com/reset. That's theplantedrunner.com/RESET. Don't forget to stay tuned all the way to the end of the episode for another mental strength minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. And now, here's my conversation with Whitney Hines. Welcome back to The Planted Runner, Whitney.
I am so honored to be here. It's been many years, I think, since we last chatted officially. I've had you on my podcast, of course.
Yes. And we tried to meet up for a run since we don't live super far apart, and that didn't happen either. So I guess we just have to meet virtually.
Yes, although I just realized that I'm going to be in your neck of the woods in a couple weeks.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yes.
Well, hit me up.
I will. It's for a girls' trip with my daughter and my sister and her daughter and my mom. So my sister has the schedule very packed, but I obviously have to run. And so when I figure out where that's slotted, I will be reaching out to you to see if it works out.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I don't run that much anymore. I'm working on building these giant guns.
I know. Yes.
So I might be able to join you for a mile or two, but very slowly. But for you, I would do it.
I appreciate that. Well, I would love to join you in the gym too.
Yeah, look at you. Look at you. Well, tell us more about your running. Tell us what you're training for. You're sharing your journey online, but tell the people what is going on with you.
Yeah, so I am still trying to get faster as a master's. I turn 45 in a few weeks. I am currently doing a speed cycle this summer just because it's less volume. It's easier to fit in, but also I've had several injuries. And then when I finally came back, I went straight into marathon training. And so I've lost that high end speed. So I've been doing a speed cycle. It's so fun. I love it so much. And then I'm running the Indy Marathon in November. So that's what I've been doing.
You actually like this speed cycle. Most marathoners don't. You know, the 5K is an absolute nightmare for most marathoners. So when I put marathoners into speed training, it's nothing but complaints. But you like it.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much that I have thought that my MO has always been to get a certain time in the marathon. And I say before I'm too old, although I've tried to throw that verbiage out the window and just focus on how I'm feeling and let go of the number. But I love it so much that if something happened and I couldn't do this marathon in the fall, I will not be heartbroken because it's opened up my eyes that there are so many distances and never ending goals for us to choose as a runner. So it's just been so fun and rewarding, and you get out there and the workouts aren't crazy long, but you feel super satisfied. And it's just really fun to see the metrics move in the right direction. I'm not super numbers driven, but it is really fun to see, okay, oh, the paces are dropping, or my cadence is picking up and I'm getting more efficient. And that's really rewarding.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna press back on you with you're not numbers driven, because I know you are. I know, or at least you have been in the past. And that's really what I would love this conversation to be about. So for those of you who are listening who don't know your background, you're a very fast recreational athlete. And, you know, I don't know what your PR is, but it's many minutes faster than mine, sub 3. And you have had a rocky road with your journey to getting faster in the marathon and to really, really focusing on the numbers. And you and I both share that sort of type A focus on getting what we want. And so to hear you say like, oh, it's not really about the numbers, like what has shifted?
Yeah, I learned that when I focused on the numbers, it became self-sabotaging. Mm-hmm. The joy was sucked out, and it is truly what contributed to my 5-year injury cycle, because I had this goal of trying to qualify for the Olympic trials. It took in the marathon, it took on a mind of its own, and I made bad decisions, one after another, ignoring my body. And I lost sight of what the big picture is, that this is supposed to make me better. It's supposed to make me happier. It's supposed to make me feel empowered. It's supposed to bring me joy. And it was doing the opposite of all of those things. I just felt self-defeated, and I would run while injured and then be mad at myself because I wasn't hitting my times, and then comparing myself to other people and looking at their numbers. And so obviously it's a fine line to walk to be a runner. I mean, the outcome is important, but you have to love the process. And so truly the outcome should be the icing on the cake. And so, yes, I do want to hit certain numbers, but I really do put at the front end, how am I feeling? Do I feel strong? Do I feel happy doing this? Am I excited to do it most every day? Maybe not every day, but most every day. And that to me is front and center and the most important thing.
So what would you say made you have this shift in perspective? Was it a light bulb moment where you were just like, I've hit rock bottom and I can't live like this anymore? Or was it more just a gradual, this isn't working for me?
It was a gradual unraveling of the runner I had become. And I honestly have been trying to get back to the runner I used to be, who had a Timex watch and, just had no idea truly what she was doing, but she was having a good time doing it. And it was like I would have a major injury. I would take close to a year off. I would come back and I would be so rushed to get back to where I was and I would get fast, and then I would get injured again. And then the whole cycle would repeat. And so I finally, after my 3rd major injury, I was just like, you know what? I'm throwing all of that out the way. I'm throwing all of my goals out the window. I am starting from square one. And I am not going to compare to old Whitney. I'm not going to look too far ahead. And I really just focused. I'm not going to look at other people. I don't look at other people's Strava. And I'm really just going to focus on how I'm feeling. And so I took a year to just rebuild my own base, really focused on strength and PT, kind of dug deep with my mental side and realized where the motivation was coming from to be so numbers focused. And then I got a new coach as well, which was, I had to kind of shop around and find the right coach who understood my baggage. And he corrects me whenever I kind of start to fall into my old ways, which I did this summer. I started to slip up and look at what other people were doing again and think, well, I'm not working hard enough. And to me, that's a very slippery slope, because maybe you can get by for a little while running outside yourself beyond where you're currently at, but eventually you'll break down. And so it was really just, I had to put myself back in square one and erase everything that had happened before and really just hold on to, is this bringing me joy? And I'm a mom, and my whole like platform is being a mother runner. Well, I will tell you that when I was chasing that OTQ, when I was running 100 miles a week, when I was barely sleeping because my son in particular was up all the time, I was not a better mom at all. I was tired. I was cranky. Running was not enhancing my life. It was not balanced. And so that's something that I always go back to, is how is this making me be in the other roles that I am in my life? Most importantly, as a mom, is it making me happy and energized and just overall feeling good? And I can say that it is. And that's truly been my guiding light.
There's so many things that I want to like pull apart in that. The first question that I thought of is you said that you really had to look at your motivation and why you are chasing these numbers so tightly. So why? What are you doing this for? Why run the fastest marathon of your life instead of just a good one?
I think it's very individual. If anybody's listening to this and they can resonate with that, their reasons are probably different than mine. For me, what I unpacked it was twofold. One, I had recently quit my job. I was a TV journalist and then turned PR, very career focused so that I could stay home. And so I was struggling with my identity as quote unquote, just a stay at home mom, which I hate that term so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. And so I was struggling with my identity. I was struggling with my self-worth. Who am I outside of, wiping butts and just all that. And then the second was during this time, and I was working from home, but I also was starting this mother runners business where I had turned, I was a journalist. I turned my writing skills into this blog, writing articles for moms who run, and became a running coach. And I felt like I had to run these fast times in order to have credibility, to belong.
I feel that.
Yes. And what kind of really pushed me over the edge as I was running with this super competitive community, all wonderful people. However, it's like you can get caught up in the company you keep. And so if the people that you're running with are running 100 miles a week and they're running these super fast times, you want to belong and you get caught up in their goals too. And that's what happened to me. And their lives are not the same as my life. The demands upon them are not the same demands upon me. Their genetic capabilities are not the same as mine. And so when you try to just copy and paste what somebody else is doing onto yourself, it's usually not going to end up well. And so it took me a while to figure out where the motivation was coming from. But it really, honestly, it's just like insecurity. It was just, I want to belong and I want to feel good about myself and I want to feel special. And I'm not just a stay-at-home mom. This is what makes me different, You
want to be a fast girl.
Yeah, I wanted to be, and it had been my identity. And then when I started running with other people who were faster than me, it was like, oh, you feel your identity kind of threatened and it just pushes you. And, I love it. Like if I wasn't a mom and I didn't have other responsibilities, I would 100% love training all the time,
Yeah.
I've always loved it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting how the company you keep shapes us in good and bad ways. The running group that I found, there was these women who were professionals. They were older than me and they were killing it. And I was like, wait a second, if they can do it, so can I. But yes, a lot of these other women have totally different lives and totally different bodies. And I can see how it's not even peer pressure because nobody's doing it on purpose, but you're just like so inspired and you're so caught up in wanting to, belong, like you said. Like it works both ways. And you don't always know when the tipping point is from healthy peer pressure to, pushing it too far.
Yeah, because you're right. There's two sides of the coin. Part of it is very inspiring and motivating, and it's wonderful to push to be better. But I think where you can find the tipping point is, how is it affecting the other areas of your life? Is it becoming this unhealthy obsession? Is it making you worse in the other important duties that you carry on? And that's what I realized. And I think if I went back to when I was running a whole lot, I wasn't a bad mom. I wasn't yelling at my kids all the time and trying to take naps all the time, but it definitely wasn't my best self. And it took hindsight for me to see that. And so that's, as I ramp up my training, as I go after big goals, I always look back to, how am I feeling after? I mean, I had a track workout this morning, and I feel amazing and I feel energized and I feel excited, because it went well and I feel good. And I am excited to go spend the day with my kids. And that's how it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talk about this word balance, and I have a problem with the word balance. I really, really do, because I don't think you can do anything well if you do everything well. I don't think you can do anything exceptionally well if you're trying to do everything well. So sometimes there has to be periods in your life where you focus a lot on this thing and then let the other things be on the back burner. And sure, as a mom, when the kids are really little, you're kind of forced to be in the mom role a little bit more. But on the other hand, I see parents, and it's usually women, but not always women, who make their kids their whole life. And they completely ignore their needs, and they push aside their goals, or, oh, I'll wait till the kids are out of the house to actually do something for me. And that is so sad to see too, because not only are you losing yourself, you are not setting a great example for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so torn with that word balance. I don't like it at all, but you seem to embrace it.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, that's obviously the whole reason why I founded the Mother Runners, is because I have felt the positive impact of moving my body and having it make me feel good. And then the ripple effect that has on my family and the habits that it imparts on my kids. But it is a tipping point. There is a tipping point. There is a balance. I agree with you.
I can hear your kids in the background. So there's a balance. You're working with the kids. It's okay. All the parents get it. It's okay. Let them have fun in summer.
I was hoping the headphones would help with that. But you can't do everything well. That's true. But the big things, I feel like they should feed into one another in a positive way. And that's how you can see if you are somewhat maintaining that balance.
Yeah.
The best you can. But I agree with you. You have to do something for yourself. That's the thing. If you don't do something for yourself, you're going to be resentful and miserable. And I always look at how I want my kids to live. And I don't want them to wait to chase their dreams until after their kids are out of the house. I don't want them to be subservient to their kids. That's not the way that you want them to live. So why would you model that for them?
I'll be back with Whitney right after a short break. If today's episode hits home, I want to tell you about something that can help the next time your splits don't match your expectations. It's called the Readiness Reset, and it's completely free. It's a 7-minute audio that combines guided visualization with cognitive conditioning designed to train the exact response you need when running gets hard. Not after the fact, in the moment, while it's happening. Use it before a tempo run, before a long run, before you toe the line on race day. And here's the part that matters most. The more you use it, the more automatic the response becomes. It's not about motivation. It's about repetition and neuroplasticity. We talk about those a lot on this show, and it's applied to the exact moment you need it most, when your pace slips and your brain starts telling you a story about what that means. Go get it right now at theplantedrunner.com/reset. That's theplantedrunner.com/reset, and it's completely free. Use it this summer when the heat is testing you the most.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
Welcome back to The Planted Runner. Here's more of my conversation with Whitney. Marathon running in particular kind of attracts a sort of type A personality. Not everybody, some people can run a marathon for fun. People have asked me that question. Would you ever run a marathon for fun? And I am like, hell no. Like, marathons are not fun. I mean, the people who have fun, bless your heart. That's just not the way I'm wired. I think marathons are way too hard. There's fun parts of it, I suppose. But so I always ask people who have sort of a similar personality, could you run a marathon for fun?
Well, I say
the hesitation says everything.
Yeah. Well, so I had a long layoff and I came and I thought marathoning was behind me. And so I did train to run Chicago this past fall. And I said that it was for fun. Like, the whole goal was to rip the Band-Aid off, get back into marathoning. So I trained for a certain time. I did not get that certain time. I kind of got caught. Have you run Chicago before?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, there's so many people. It's crazy. And I just kind of got caught up in the crowds and I did end up running it somewhat for fun. I tried hard, but I wasn't lollygagging, but I still, didn't push myself as hard as I normally would. So showing up and running, just jogging it as I would a long run. No, I don't think I could ever, unless I was pacing somebody. That's the only way I could do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know. I love pacing. Let me pace a half marathon all day long. I absolutely love that. But even pacing a marathon, God, just so much time on your feet, I don't know. Maybe.
It would not come naturally to me. It would take a lot of self-talk to get myself to do it. I think I've run with my daughter quite a bit in her races, and that has helped me realize, okay, I get why people do this. It is fun to because running is a very selfish sport. And so for me to taste what it's like to be out there helping other people on race day, I'm like, okay, now I understand it. But I don't race that much because it's inconvenient for our family and hard to make it work. And so the opportunity to to pace other people doesn't present itself because I don't even get out there for myself very much. So, yeah.
Well, that's too bad. We need to talk to your husband about this.
Yeah. It's just, life is busy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So if you wanted to kind of switch into training for fitness, without goals necessarily, do you think that you could make that shift? So, literally let go of all the numbers?
Well, I kind of did. And now I'm ready to chase the fast times. I think I could. I think I could now, but I want to give myself the best shot that I can to achieve the goals that I have set for myself. And as long as I'm feeling good, there's no reason for me not to.
Yeah.
But I'm not obsessive over numbers anymore. So like the need to make that shift is not there. If I were to fall back into that, I would see the detriment, and then I would probably force myself to make that shift and see that it would be necessary. But right now, I do feel like it's a very positive motivator for me.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. So you're not running 100 miles a week anymore?
No.
No.
That did not serve me well. No. I've been in like the 50s and 60s, and then this bill will probably get up into the low 70s. I had I was not trying to get a PR. I was just trying to sort of get within reach of where I was. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm ready. I think I'm ready to take the next step and see what happens. So
yeah.
See. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that's a big shift in mileage from your max. What do you feel you get back when you drop your mileage? Because I know when I was training super hard for marathons, I didn't get to 100. I got to 90. And I actually felt way better and was actually way stronger when I cut back. We see so much in the running world that more mileage, even at a slow pace. I mean, my easy miles are super slow, but even at a slow pace, those miles definitely have a cost. So do you feel like you're able to train harder with less mileage? Like what are the changes with this kind of training?
I said to my coach time and again, I didn't realize that you could train for a marathon and feel amazing. Like not feel like you're riding the red line the whole time. And that's how I've been through 2 marathon cycles with him, and I'm about to enter my 3rd. And every workout, I feel great. I never feel like I'm just so beat up and tired, and I got to knock on wood, just niggles abounds. Like I have not felt like that at all. And I think it's because the mileage is lower. I also like just getting it done. I don't want it to hang over my head. I don't want to run doubles. Now I may run doubles if like my kids want to go out, or we have 4 dogs. And so if they need to get some exercise, maybe I would do it then if it benefits the family. But, and during the marathon cycle too, before I was doing 2 speed workouts during the week and then the long run with work in it as the marathon cycle progressed. And that was just way too much stimulus for me. And so once we get back to putting stuff in the long run, then, so for my speed cycle, I'm doing 2 speed sessions during the week. But once we get back to having quality work in the long run, then we'll drop back down to 1 speed session. Because that was also, it was just too much. I wasn't recovering well. I was able to hit the paces, but then the rest of the day, I just felt so tired, and I would have little niggles crop up here and there. And so having 1 big workout during the week and then lots of quality work in the long run, it made my body feel better. And it just makes it so much easier to be a busy person because you can shift things around without it being like, oh crap, there goes the whole training cycle because I moved like 1 domino and now everything's falling down,
Yeah, I think this is actually a really good point to talk about, because we often feel as runners that we're not enough, that we're not doing enough. So we're not doing enough mileage. We're not running fast enough. I want to hit, X pace in the marathon. So I need to be able to hit Y pace in my workouts. I should be running faster and faster. I should be more advanced than I am. And I should feel tired all the time. Like when we're sore from a workout, that is a sign that we had a good workout. But what you're saying is that no, we don't have to feel like crap all the time.
Right. And you talked about lifting. I will say too, I lift quite a bit and I feel so much stronger. And before, I wouldn't have the energy to do a quality lift session. And I know I'm stronger. I've done strength testing. I am way stronger than I was even just a year ago, because I have the energy to do a lift session after a hard workout, where before, I'd go to the well and I just would be exhausted. It was hard for me to even function, let alone go lift heavy things. So it just all around, you feel so much healthier.
I'll be back with Whitney right after a short break. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. Here's more of my conversation with Whitney. Yes, I love this. So I make almost all of my marathon runners and half marathon runners lift after their long runs, and they complain about it all the time. But I'm telling them, this is the way, this is the light, this is the way to build those strong legs, because that is what's going to get you through mile 20. It's not just running 10 million easy miles, or it's not overreaching in your workouts. So let me ask you this, because this has come up in my group a lot recently. So let's say you have a workout, let's say it's a track workout, and you're supposed to hit X pace, but it's, 85 degrees, and you cannot hit X pace. Should you take your workout down a little bit so it's still that 8 out of 10 effort, or should you reach? What do you try to reach in your workouts, or are you more of a person that would prefer to get really good at your level of fitness? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. As a coach, I do tell my athletes to go by effort. And so if you reach, the risks outweigh the benefits, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe every once in a while, yes. But the point of the workout is the effort that's prescribed. It's not necessarily the paces, because those paces are prescribed in optimal conditions. And if you're running and it's 85 degrees, and we just got back from 2 weeks in Charleston, and it's always so hot and muggy, and I always adjust my effort. And I may hit the paces, but if it's like a long threshold, I always start conservative and see how I feel, because I know you may feel good when you start a workout, but all those effects of the heat and humidity are going to layer on, and you won't hit your paces, or you will just completely flame out if you go too hot. So I always say effort is king. Even I know people love heart rate training. I love to use heart rate as a guide. Like it's one metric that you look at, it's, right. But it's really the most important thing is, how are you feeling? Does this feel like a threshold effort? Does this feel like VO2 max? Or I use the RPE scale. So effort. Yeah. Always.
I just feel like there's so much of, again, it's that type A plus. I got to get an A+ on the workout. I feel like if I put in more effort, even though it's more effort than I should be, I'm going to get a better result. I could run this tempo run at a medium or a medium high, but if I run it at a high effort, I'm going to get more results out of it. That is like the mentality that I hear all the time.
Yeah. But then if you do that and you overreach, and then your hamstrings kind of bothering you because you're like literally overreaching in your stride, or you're just completely dead and you're not recovered for the next workout, then, or really it's a cumulative effect. Like you may be able to do that and get away with it for a few weeks, a few months. This is something that I learned. And then you think like, oh, it's okay. It's okay for me to do this. I'm adapting. I feel okay. I don't feel great, but I feel okay. I feel like I'm working hard. Eventually you're going to get injured. If you run outside yourself, if you run outside what the prescribed effort of the workout is, then eventually you're going to get injured because it just builds upon each other. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I learned when I was running way more than, because my mileage doubled. We went from 50s to 100 over the course of a summer. And it was like, I was amazed. I was like, oh, I'm able to do this. I'm able to turn around and run the next day. I'm able to do doubles. This is crazy. But then everything just started to break down, and it took several months, but then I was in a hole, and it was really hard to get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's such a good lesson for people to see, because you don't always feel it at the time. You don't always feel it in the workout. You don't always get the hamstring injury. There's not this direct cause and effect that we can say, oh, it was that one workout I did on Tuesday, those 200-meter repeats. That's the cause of everything. It's usually not that. It's usually just going over. And it's these type A people have to learn to be type B. And that's the marathon. Right there. You have to learn how to chill, and we don't chill very well.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the mindset when you go into the race that, oh my gosh, I have 26.2 miles ahead of me. So I really need to chill on the front end, or else it's just not going to go well. And it is so funny how our sport attracts such type A people when on race day, there's only so much you can control. I mean, that's something that I remind myself time and again, and my athletes, is a perfect training cycle does not equal a perfect race, and vice versa. You can have a training cycle with all these sicknesses and missed days, and then you can have an incredible race because you have no idea. Like, you could just have an off day. The weather could be crappy. You could have GI issues out of nowhere. It's just, you can do everything. You can try to control it, all the controllables, but there's always going to be uncontrollable things on your plate. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And it's teaching your brain how to deal with stress. Like, everybody's great the first 5K. You're having fun. You're just out there. This is the big day you've waited for, but it's the last 5K. Like, how do you talk to yourself when things are hard? I say this all the time. Nobody runs a marathon for fitness. It's more about discovering who you are and discovering who you are under stress and how you do hard things and how you get through something that is honestly absolutely ridiculous. And, are you going to quit, or are you going to thrive? It's just like, those are the things we're really asking of ourselves. It's not how strong our hamstrings are, It really is.
That's true. I've been on a mission. I am on a mission to solve that last 10K of the marathon. But it's funny you say that, because I really went outside myself this last marathon I ran and was like, Whitney, are you pushing as hard as you can? Are you really pushing as hard as you can? And I decided that yes, my legs cannot go any faster than they can right now. And that's okay, because it's funny how when you line up and through the whole training cycle, you're so just motivated and driven and gung-ho about it. And then the last 10K, that like David Goggins voice, for me at least, turns into like, it's okay, Whitney, you've done good enough,
Yes.
People will still love you if you don't run this time.
We have the same voice, a very sweet Southern grandma that says, "Aw, you're doing so great. You can slow down. It's fine. It's fine."
It's fine.
So how do you envision your running in the rest of your 40s and your 50s and your 60s? Do you even think about it that far? Do you even look, think about, oh, I want to be one of those people at 90 years old running marathons in a sports bra? Or do you not even think about it? Like, how do you envision running being a part of your life moving forward?
So I have talked to several people who are killing it in their 50s, and I love that. And I find that so motivating. I want running to be a part of my life for the rest of my life, but I do anticipate having more of a blend of activities as I get older. I I love most fitness related things, but there's nothing that replaces running for me. So I don't know. I think if I am forced to take a step back, which I'm sure I will be, I'll probably be shopping around trying to find something that fits the bill. Although I will say I've always loved badminton and now I love pickleball. Oh. And so I do see myself getting into that. And I do like gentler activities. Yoga, I find I don't do it now. I don't have time, but I do enjoy yoga when I do it. I do enjoy walking my dogs. So I think it'll probably be a mixture of activities. And then because you can't take the competitor out of someone, I don't think. So I'll have to find something that, fills that competitive cup that I have.
Good. Yeah. I'm learning golf and
oh, really?
And that is, yes. And that is absolutely humbling. And but the competitive drive is there. So it's fun and forgive me, golfers, it's not that athletic. And so I can do it at the end of the day and not feel like I'm working out, so it's definitely something I want to do, until I get bored and do something else, but I could do it for the rest of my life, so that's my pickleball.
See, I love that. And I remember in a earlier conversation, you talking about having that beginner mindset and that it's so great because you're not afraid to be bad.
Yes.
You're having fun and you're just out there and you're learning and any improvement is good improvement. And that's something I look forward to too. Because really at the sports I played growing up, I played because I was fast. The coaches wanted me on the team because I was faster than the other kids. And so running has always been my thing. So I will be a beginner I'll have a bevy in front of me of things to be a beginner at. So it'll be fun to pursue new things when I'm in my 50s and 60s and beyond.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, I think this is a perfect place to kind of wrap things up, Whitney. Where can listeners connect with you?
Everything is the Mother Runners. So on Instagram, I'm the Mother Runners. All the socials are Mother Runners. My website's the Mother Runners. And I have a podcast called The Mother Runners.
Perfect. And I will be a guest on it soon. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, Whitney, thanks so much. This has been a fun conversation. I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's always fun to chat with you.
And now it's time for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is gratitude for unfairness. Whenever one of my kids says, "It's not fair," I remind them that life is unfair, and for that, we should always be grateful. It's unfair that they are loved, healthy, smart, talented, and so much more. And every time they are tempted to say, "But it's not fair, Mom," it's a reminder to be grateful. Think about that in your own life. In your running, you can extend this concept to gratitude for the hard parts, thankful for the bad weather, happy for the bad race. If you have the freedom to listen to this show whenever you want, or get out and go for a run today, it's exactly because life is unfair. Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the #1 way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next because I read every single one. Have a great run today.